It's gonna be a story time of when my stepbrother killed our dog and fed it to me and my little sister for dinner. Let's get right into it. So my mom had died when I was younger and my dad had remarried. So I had a stepmom and she had a son. This motherfucker, let me tell you, we did not get along. I fought with him all the time, but it's because he was a little bitch. He would always bully me and my little sister and make fun of our weight. He would threaten to beat us up just for fun. Like, you in our house, get it together. I began to scold my dad because he was the one who brought them in this fucking house and he wasn't doing nothing about it. He knew they were tearing our family apart and he did nothing. So, anyways, one night, my parents weren't home and my stepbrother had to watch me and my little sister. Like I said, he was a little bitch, so he was upset because he had plans to hang out with his girlfriend. But that really sounds like a personal problem. Let me stop coming at this man. It was just making me angry thinking about it. So my dad had sent my stepbrother money so he could go get groceries so he could make us dinner. But my stepbrother didn't want to, so he sent me instead. Oh, mind you, I was like 12 at the time. And he sent me alone and my little sisters were sleeping. When I came home and knocked on the door, I noticed that our dog didn't run up to see who was at the door like she usually did. Then I smelled something coming from the kitchen, like for part 2. This is gonna be part 2 of how my stepbrother killed our dog and fed it to me and my little sister for dinner. So like I said, I got home from the grocery store and our dog didn't run up to the door like she usually did. I didn't think much of it and then I smelled something coming from the kitchen. What could he possibly be cooking if there's no groceries? And no, I didn't automatically think, oh, he's cooking our dog. It's just, hold on. Whatever was cooking on the stove smelled like shit. It made the whole house stink, but like I said, I didn't think too much of it. Now that I think of it, I heard the laundry machine going and my family had a set schedule for laundry. Like, we never did laundry off schedule, so that was kind of weird. My parents are just very organized people, besides the point. So I go upstairs to wake up my little sister and I see my stepbrother pass me and go down to the kitchen. An hour or so goes by and he calls us downstairs and says dinner is ready. All he did was boil some corn, give us canned peas, and some slab of meat. The meat was burnt, by the way, but I guess food is food. So we started eating this atrocious meal, and all I could think about were these tiny little hairs that just kept going in my mouth. I kept pulling pieces out my mouth. Mind you, this hair had no color. It was burnt. Now our dog loved to eat dinner with us, but she was nowhere to be seen. I started looking for her and I realized that she's missing. It's gonna be part 3 of the time my stepbrother killed our dog and fed it to us for dinner. So like I said, I started looking around for the dog. I asked my little sister if she's seen her. She said no. So I asked my stepbrother and he says no too. Somebody fucking lie. Who the fuck is lying? Cause it ain't fucking me. Let me fucking stop. Okay, so we trying to find this dog. I call my dad. He says she probably ran away, but no one let her outside that day. And I know she didn't just go outside. So the days pass and we're still looking for her and we hang up missing posters. I got my friends to help me. My dad's looking, my stepmother, my little sister, and even my stepbrother. As time goes on, my little sister and I begin to fall sick. We go to the doctor. They say we have stomach problems. They said it was probably from something that we ate. And I'm thinking to myself, what abnormal thing did I eat? That random slab of meat. Because there was no groceries. Where the fuck did he find that meat from? So I'm putting pieces together. You know, we're falling sick. The meat was hairy. Our dog is missing. Eventually, my dad ends up finding the dog, but it was dead and cut up. It's gonna be part 4 of the time my stepbrother cooked our dog and fed it to me and my little sister for dinner. So my dad ends up finding our dog hidden under some sticks in our backyard, but it was dead and cut into pieces. I might have been 12, but I wasn't dumb. I knew what the fuck was going on. So once my dad brings us this news, after he's done telling us what he found, I pulled into the other room. I told him what I peeped. I was sobbing and I told him I think it was my stepbrother who did it. I told him about the dog not meeting me at the door, the smell of the kitchen, the hairs, the laundry, the fact that we got sick. I gave him all the puzzle pieces, but he told me that he didn't believe me. He said, and I quote, "Your stepbrother might be mean to you, but he's not crazy." I said, because it's right there. It is right in front of you. Like, the evidence speaks for its fucking self. I ain't gotta say too much. So my dad ends up not doing anything to my stepbrother. He faced literally 0 consequences. I'm 19 now and I don't talk to him anymore. Till this day, I 110% believe that my stepbrother did it. Story time of the sickest I felt in my whole life. You might want to hold your breath for this one. My boyfriend and I had been dating for like 8 months or so. I had my own place, so I let him move in with me. One day, my best friend decides that she wants to become a hairdresser, and so she started taking clients and doing people's hair. I became one of her clients because she did hair really good, and she didn't charge me as much because I was her bestie. And whenever I needed her to do my hair, she would come over to my place. Well, over time, my best friend and my boyfriend began to become closer. I didn't think anything of it because I trusted my best friend and my boyfriend. Sometimes my best friend and my boyfriend would be alone together because if she was doing my hair that day and I wasn't home, I would make my boyfriend open the door for her. She could just go ahead and walk on in, get her stuff set up, and then once I was there, she could do my hair. Like I said, I trusted them enough, so I wasn't worried about it. Bitch, I should have been worried about it. One night, my boyfriend tells me that he's gonna be working a little late that night. So, you know, I'm like, okay, that's fine. So that night, I was just sitting on my bed scrolling through my social. Then I opened Snapchat. I'm watching my best friend's story and she had made a brand new private story. She added me to that story and there was a picture of my best friend and my boyfriend in bed together. This is gonna be part 2 of the sickest I felt in my whole life. The pain in my chest when I saw the picture of my best friend and my boyfriend in bed together. I started heaving. I was was wheezing, like, so I was thinking to myself whether I should slide up and say anything, or if I should pull up to her house and whoop her ass. It had to have been at her house because that man had no place to go. That's why he was living with me. This man is over here homie hopping. Meanwhile, he don't even got a home. Although I was very upset, I was surprisingly calm. I decided that I'm not gonna pull up and beat both of their asses. I decided that I was just gonna take his stuff and throw it out the door. And as I'm walking to his room, I hear what sounds like a window is opening. And it sounds like it's coming from my boyfriend's room. So I keep walking to his room to check out whatever this sound is. I walk in there. And there my best friend and my boyfriend are sleeping on the bed that I bought him in my house. Bitch, like for part 3. This is gonna be part 3 of the sickest I felt in my entire life. So like I said, I walked in the room and saw my best friend and my boyfriend sleeping. I'm like, okay, we taking naps. We taking naps, bitch, in my fucking house. Let's take a fucking nap, then I'm gonna put both of y'all to sleep. So my boyfriend actually looked like he was sleeping, but I could tell that my best friend was faking it. She had just posted that snap only 10 minutes ago. It was clearly intended for me to see. So I walk up to the bed. I go over to where my boyfriend is sleeping, and when I tell you, I smacked the shit out down there, whacked that nigga like I was trained for it. Meanwhile, my best friend's over there like, oh my god. I'm like, bitch, I'm about to get to you. But right now, we focusing on him. But I'm gonna get to you, I promise. So I lift the covers off of them, and I see that they're both naked. So that's really when I started pouncing on him, scratching him, biting him, you know, all that good stuff. Meanwhile, my best friend's over there trying to put her clothes on so she could go. Girl, you ain't going nowhere. Because after I was done pouncing on him, I charged towards her. Like for part 4. It's gonna be part 4 of the sickest that I felt in my whole life. So I had just gotten done beating up my boyfriend after catching him with my best friend. As I was beating up my boyfriend, my best friend was getting herself together so she could go. Like, where are you going home, girl? Our business isn't finished here, bestie. So I charge towards her and she's ready because she knows I don't play that. And she puts up her fists. I run up to her, she tries to swing, dodged it. I grab her hair and I drag her to the door. Maybe not the bedroom door. The front door. Dragged her all the way out and kicked her out the door. I locked the door, then I went back to my boyfriend's room, cussed him out a little more, and started packing his stuff up for him. I tell him that he has one day to get all of his stuff and leave, or else I'm burning it. I cut my friend off completely because she did some weird ass shit. I don't know why she would do anything like that, and I wasn't about to ask questions because I didn't give a fuck. My boyfriend was over there trying to beg me to stay, trying to say he was sorry, and I just was not having it. So I cut them both off. Girl, the hairstyles and diddly wasn't that good. It was not that good to keep them around. Welcome.
It's gonna be a story time of how me and my friends waged war on the nastiest girls at my high school. After watching all of the parts, you get to decide who won this war. And just a heads up, this will probably be the nastiest story time that I've ever posted. Let's get right into it. So at my high school, there was these group of girls that would keep themselves dirty so they could get attention from the boys. They would never take showers. They would always come to school stankin'. It was so bad to the point where if you were in class with them, the teachers would have to open up all the windows and leave the door wide open so the smell could drift out. Like, it was that bad. You really could have passed out. The school went as far as holding an assembly about how important hygiene is, just because of these girls. Now, these girls stayed together as a clique, and they were on the track team, and me and my friends were also on the track team. Our coach encouraged us to take showers after practice, but she couldn't force us. But she made it clear that she wanted us to take showers. Those girls wouldn't take full-on showers. They just get in the water for like 5 seconds and get out. So one day, me and my friends decided that all those girls were in the shower, we were going to pour soap and shampoo all over them, like for part 2. This is going to be part 2 of how me and my friends waged war on the nastiest girls at our high school. As you could imagine, track practice sucked because of how bad they smelled. And mind you, they barely contributed to the track team. They were those girls that always pretended like they had an injury so they didn't have to practice. It was embarrassing, like, why are you here? And so after practice, while they were taking their 10-second showers, me and my friends took bottles of soap and shampoo and poured it all over them. This made them like cuss us out. They were extremely angry, but they didn't do anything. So some time passes by and one of my friends had told me that her boyfriend had gave her an STD. So she's thinking, he didn't have this STD before, and all of a sudden he has one. So where did he get it from? Then all of a sudden, next thing you know, one of those stankin' wankin' girls that we poured soap and shampoo all over starts posting on her story, and she says, and I quote, "You say I'm dirty, but your boyfriend doesn't think any less of me, so what does that make you?" Eventually, my friend's boyfriend admitted to her that he had cheated on her with one of those girls. And it wasn't just the two of them. It was all those girls, my friend's boyfriend, and some of his friends. It was like a five-some. It's gonna be part 3 of how me and my friends waged war on the nastiest girls at our high school. So like I said, those girls that never took showers had gotten a train ran on them by one of my friend's boyfriend and some of his friends. This pissed my friend off so bad, she was acting out of character. And I say out of character, I'm talking about this girl was saying, oh, I'ma poison her, I'ma run this bitch over. At the time, it seemed excessive, but just wait until you hear the whole story and you'll understand why it would have been justified. So my friend had asked her, her ex-boyfriend why he did what he did. He said that they didn't smell bad at the time and it was just spur of the moment. But he knew that his own girlfriend did not like those girls. My friend would talk shit about those girls to him. And it's the fact that he still had the audacity to put his dingling in my friend after he had ran a train on those girls. Like, that's disrespectful. And so to get back at these girls, my friend decided that she was going to stay in the locker room for track practice after all the girls left the locker room. And she took a piss on all of those girls' clothes. This led to one of the girls getting a rash that got really bad to the point where she had to be hospitalized. Trust me, you're gonna want to like for part 4.